What's up, War Room? Welcome back. Joe Caporoso, Connor Rogers, mega July mailbag episode, Discord Q&A, absolutely loaded up. We're going to get through as many as we can in about 30 minutes or so. Any ones we don't hit, we'll try to hit on the pod, which we're going to also spend a little time talking wide receivers because I just like talking wide receivers. CR, looking sharp, like the shirt. How we doing? How we feeling?
Doing great. Absolutely poured sweat through this shirt on. I made it through 12 holes of golf today. And when I saw people like turning around and walking past me, because I played into the midday, and it was about 94 degrees in the just baking in the sun. And it eventually was like a course where you're going to go, once you go down a hill after hole 12, there's no going back. And I was like, you know what? I'll gladly call it after 12 holes of golf on a Monday in July. And I'm happy with that. So I've just kind of chilled in this outfit since. It's I love this time of year, man. Like a little time off, I can wake up, I can go out, and then we just bullshit about the Jets when the microphones come on at 8:00 at night or whatever it may be. So everything is well.
We got a terrific collection of questions to bullshit on. Most of them are Jets. We will mix in some of the non-Jet ones as well. First one from our guy, Israel. Here we go. I'm a pretty positive guy, but also I'm trying to be a realist. Let's say the Jets don't have any injury luck. Salah Hackett gets in the way. Defense regresses and the Jets finish 6-10 and miss the playoffs. What happens to the below individuals, whether they are fired, extended, traded, or released? This will be my last time being negative for the rest of the year. We're going to hold you to that, buddy. And no more talking.
Israel's a very positive Jet fan.
He is a positive guy. He is. Yeah. All right. Woody Johnson, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers. First four picks from the 2022 class, Quinnen and AVT. I'll rip through these rapid fire. So let's say Jets, you said 6-10. Let's say 6-11. 6-11, regardless of what happens, is an unmitigated disaster for everyone associated with the Jets organization. I'm going to leave Woody aside, but only say that if Trump gets elected, Woody will not be the acting owner anymore. He will take another job in the administration, whether they're good, whether they're bad. He'll be out of the picture either way, is my prediction. Joe Douglas at 6-11 gets fired. Robert Saleh at 6-11, 100% gets fired. Aaron Rodgers, his ego won't let him retire. He'll play one more year. I'll get this right. We'll do one more year.
It's here.
It's
okay.
Here. Yeah, I'm going to help us get the right guys in the right positions. I'm going to try one more year. First four picks, they go crazy in paying to make sure Sauce stays here.
Yep.
They give out one more big contract. I'm going to say that goes to Garrett, and they kind of leave Breece and Jermaine to be like sorted going forward, whether that's the right choice or not. I just think they go the big name, the corner, and the receiver, even though I think Breece will be awesome this year. Quinnen's under his contract. He'll be fine. I'm assuming if they're this bad, AVT probably got hurt again. And I don't know, maybe they try to cut bait and move on. But if he doesn't get hurt, I would just keep him. But that's what I think happens in that scenario.
I think I'm with you on pretty much all of it because it's just a logic, applying logic. Now, I'll start from the top and work my way down. If Woody is not, I guess we do the scenario where Woody's not here. And if Woody's not here, it becomes more interesting. Say Woody is working a government-related job in scenario one. Well, then we don't know who would be running the team, whether it's Christopher again, whether it's one of Woody's kids, whether it's they just let Jaime, the team president, kind of hold the fort because he's been here so long while Woody's gone. Because at the same time, I can't speak for Woody Johnson, but like we know his kids aren't like in their 30s or 40s or anything, so that's a lot to put on the plate of young people. I think at the end of the day, that would be fascinating because there are big hires to be made with Woody not here. That's why that scenario is more interesting. If Woody's here, it's not interesting at all. The Jets do what they always do. They go through another search process. There'll be people involved externally from the organization. It's not going to be like Corn Ferry or, Charlie Casser. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. So we might be on the search firm. Who the hell knows?
Hey, bring us in. We're ready.
Gladly. There would be, that wouldn't really change that much. But obviously Joe Douglas let go. He would get a job he'd probably go back to the Eagles again in their front office. Robert Saleh would be a defensive coordinator somewhere. Obviously he has some very close friends in this scattered around the league now where you look at it. I mean, some of Robert Saleh's best friends in this league are head coaches that will, throughout the years, be looking for defensive coordinators, whether it is Matt LaFleur, whether it is Mike McDaniel, on and on it goes. Saleh would, day one, get a DC job again if he wanted one. Rodgers is the one where I don't know if I agree with you. You're right about his ego. Like, he would. The problem is for Rodgers, he's a guy that is obsessed with control at this point. And if you're hiring a new coach and a new GM, you're not hiring, I hope, that coach and GM for the purpose of Rodgers in the long term. You're hiring a GM that is rebuilding. You're hiring a head coach that, we know what the Jets' next head coaching hire. The Jets' next head coaching hire is going to be a crack at a young offensive mind. Yeah. And it's not going to be the Gase route. Gase had already failed somewhere. It's going to be somebody, in my opinion, that has not been a head coach yet. And it also might fail. But I feel like they're going to take the swing and see if they can get, it's ridiculous to say McVay or Kyle Shanahan, but can you get Kevin O'Connell? That's going to be the Jets' next head coaching hire, whenever that is. Does Rodgers want to be here for that? Does Rodgers have options elsewhere? Who knows? So that one I'm a little bit more on the fence on. First 4 picks, Quinnen will be here. AVT is a little bit up in the air because it's injury related. The first 4 picks, though, without Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, I agree. Well, Sauce is like always there's really nothing around him, around the organization, that changes the outlook on Sauce. Sauce is a number 1 corner and one of the best corners in the league in any scheme under any coach who's 23 years old. The Jets, and because of the ownership mistake on Revis, they will correct that with, even maybe overcorrect that with Sauce. So Sauce is the guy he's here, I think. I think Sauce will be here for his career. I really believe that. I actually do feel that way in a sense about Garrett Wilson, as long as his frustrations, because of the way the quarterback situation has been, don't boil over, and they're pretty understandable. I think they would treat Garrett Wilson that way. A number 1 wide receiver and a number 1 corner just here as long as their careers go. Brees would feel Saquon-ish to me in that scenario, where Joe Shane got that job and he was like, man, I like Saquon. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. I have no interest in allocating my resources to a running back long-term. And whether you agree or not, that's how a new GM would look at it. And then Jermaine, who is probably underappreciated at this point, it would depend on who the hire is. But without Saleh, that extension might take a little bit of a back seat. With Saleh, that extension might be the first one they do, honestly. So it'll be, because you want to get ahead on paying pass rushers, not too late. So yeah, I align with you on a lot of it. It's, man, I hope we're not there this time, 8 months from now. I can, but I can't. I really don't want to go through the whole process all over again. No, it would.
We've seen this movie so many times,
man. And this quarter, I already did the quarterback class for next year. I'm just not optimistic at all. It's it's not pretty. It's not
dark hours.
Yeah, I hope Aaron Rodgers is very good this year and very much back for next year.
Yes. Make sure to sign up for Underdog Fantasy using promo code Badlands for a 50% deposit match up to $250. We currently have 3 open spots remaining in our $25 best ball draft. 6 people total. Myself in, Connor in, 1 other person in. Fill out the league. Connor may also be dropping an MLB best ball draft, so look out for that. Sign up. You get the deposit matched. And get those reps in July, because that's it. The offseason's over. We're in August. We're in in-season drafts. We're in in-season preseason. Best ball. Perfect time to sign up with promo code Badlands. CR, tell them what to watch out for with our best ball NFL and MLB drafts.
We've dabbled in baseball. I think we're going to do one more pretty soon. We've had the NFL ones cranking, and the stakes keep getting a little higher. Like you said, we have 3 spots left in our $25 league. We will do a high stakes, at least $100 buy-in league. I think, that'll be up for Badlands subscribers only. I'll keep our NHL chat going. We'll do at least 1 hockey best ball league for fun as well. So listen, it never stops, which is the best part of it.
Sign up today using promo code Badlands. All right. M. Bodine, 60. Where do we see the ceiling going if the Jets can pull off a win in San Francisco? always important, I would say, not to get too high or too low from a week one game. Week one can be very weird in the NFL. Yeah, I feel like underdogs are like win a lot week one, which is why I'm kind of optimistic that the Jets are at least going to cover week one and go with the under, which I'll be saying until we hit game time. I mean, look, if they win, knowing who they play week 2 and week 3, the vibes will be insanely high. There's a pragmatic chance there'll be some type of letdown in those next 2 games coming off that, especially like you beat the Niners in like a slugfest and then you have the short week going to Tennessee that has like disappointing loss written all over it. Unfortunately, I think I wouldn't change my record prediction either way for the Jets unless there was a severe injury in week 1 or they got like absolutely like ran out of the building, like, 40-7. Now you can say, all right, well, if they win 40-7, sure. I'm going to probably pick them to go 11-6. And that kind of bakes in my head, like they're probably going to lose week 1. I think they have a decent chance, but in my mind, they're going to start fast, similar to 2010, and probably be like 5-2 or something, just how their schedule breaks down. And that is kind of factoring into it. And look, I think my thought would be like if they win week 1, they're probably going to give one back at some point because that's how the NFL season works. So I guess it's one thing if they come out and they win like 31-7 and Rodgers is outrageous versus winning like 17-14 in the kind of game that we're generally expecting. But I would recommend don't overreact to week 1 in either direction. And I would say the same thing if the Jets lose like 16-3 or something. Like they'll probably be okay. And they'll probably win the next 2 games after that. Monday Night Football, Rodgers' first game back, first time playing in a while. Huge spotlight, really good team. Coaching staff is better than the Jets coaching staff and is going to know every little thing they want to do. That's why I'm going in with tempered expectations.
And the 49ers were always where Rodgers wanted to be, right? Yes. I'm not talking about the last 2 years. I'm talking about when he was drafted.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you'll see that angle played up plenty, I'm sure, beyond all the other obvious ones we're expecting.
Did you know Aaron Rodgers is 0-4 against the 49ers in the playoffs in his career?
Oh, my God.
He's never beat them in the playoffs.
Now we know that stat.
They knocked him out in 13, 14, 20, and 22.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It's not been like a great place for him. And also, this is like, I don't want to get down on this matchup because the Jets defense could like beat up Purdy and he could have a bad game, but man, this game feels like 17-16, 16-13, 13-12. Like, I feel like it's going to be 3-3 at halftime, and we're all going to be like when are the fireworks starting?
He's 6-3 against them in the regular season.
Okay.
He's played at San Francisco in the regular season 5 times, and I believe he's 3-2.
All right.
So quarterback wins on today's podcast. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, there's a lot of storylines there. My take is I think the 49ers might be the best team in football. I really do. Now, there is a massive issue lingering with the team. And the longer it goes on, it is better for the New York Jets. And that is Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
I cannot
Their offense is very different without him.
Very different. It is so weird. And I think it's gotten a lot better, especially after last year, but the name recognition associated with the 49ers compared to what they actually are. Yes, Christian McCaffrey is every good as you are told he is. But with the injury history of George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, Ayuk is the engine of the pass game. Kittle and Deebo have great moments, but Ayuk it's not even close. He is far and away the most important pass catcher on the team. It's not even in the same stratosphere, in my opinion, anymore. So, and I'm sure they would have loved to move Deebo's money off the books to extend Ayuk and gone into the future with him and Pearsall, but nobody wants. We already did the Deebo Samuel injury conversation. So, I'm not saying that Jets should be favored if Ayuk doesn't play, but looks a lot different out there without him. But I do think I can see a scenario where, understandably, they're probably going to be touchdown underdogs. The Jets lose to the Niners in week 1 in a somewhat competitive game, but the Niners end up breaking through in the second half because they're just too well coached on offense. And everyone's like, like the Jets, like, frauds, like again, like let down. Yep. And then the Jets quietly win their next 4 games.
Yep.
Tennessee, New England, Denver, and Minnesota. And Jets, Bills, October 14th. That's a Monday night, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I want to say that's Monday night. I should know my schedule.
Always assume their game's on primetime because basically all of them are on primetime this year. We're not sleeping this year. We're doing the 2:30 a.m. recorded podcast.
It is Monday.
Week.
That is a Monday. Jets, Bills at MetLife Monday night. The Jets are now 4-1 after losing week 1 and totally written off because people didn't realize for some reason that the Niners are probably the best team in the NFL. Like top to bottom, right? Coaching staff, position groups. Best team in the NFL. They have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. There's a big difference, okay? So, and then Jets, Bills. Jets are 4-1. Bills are really good. At MetLife, sold out crowd Monday Night Football, like fucking mayhem. I think I have to go.
You just convinced me I'm going.
I could see that world where that happens. And maybe I'm too optimistic saying, oh, the Jets will just run through the Titans, Patriots, Broncos, and Vikings. Guess what? I expect the Jets to beat those 4 teams this year.
They should. And they're going to be favorites in all those games, and they should.
Favorites in all those games. They are home for 2 of them. I don't know. Like, this is the best way to really say this to people. You tell me the Jets can't beat Will Levis, Jacoby Brissett, Bo Nix, maybe
Zachy,
Sam Darnold, or JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,